Hello, expert investors. I got one today. I know you've seen a million videos about abundance mindset. You've read the books. You've read the book, The Secret. You've watched the movie, The Secret. What's the guy's name from Chicken Soup for the Soul? Jack Canfield. He's got an amazing book on attraction and all that kind of stuff and abundance. It's everywhere. But I promise you, out of 15 years of studying this mindset stuff, I'm going to give you the best of what I found in 7 easy steps. And this 5 to 10 minute video, who knows how long it's going to last, is the last mindset video you're ever going to need. Okay? And I'm happy to answer questions on this for free because it's so important to your growth, whether it's real estate or whatever investment you're doing, whatever business you're in. This is the kind of stuff you need. Number 1, you need to mastermind. Mastermind. You need to mastermind with other wealthy, and I'm going to insert positive people. Okay, we all know some wealthy people who are not so positive, but you need to spend a lot of time with positive, wealthy people continuously and regularly. Okay, the best way to do that is to create an inner circle, and you can start with like a Facebook group or some kind of social media to get people together easily, or at least have a quick way to communicate with everyone. WhatsApp groups and now Telegram. I prefer Telegram. Organize a group with like-minded people who are close to the same level as you, who are trying to achieve the same thing. Okay? Now you may need to go out to social media or go out to your networks to find those people, but when you gather them together, get on a text group that's private, or get on a worst case, a Facebook group. Not so private, but it'll do if you can't get everybody on Telegram. Okay? And that's where you communicate. Okay? Communicate with each other, bounce ideas off, and meet once a month. Once a month. I used to do this once a week. Okay? It is the best thing you can do for yourself. Because if there's 10 ways to get wealthy or 10 ways to become successful in your particular business, and you're doing 2 of them, and this other guy in your group is trying another 2, and this other guy in your group is trying another 2, well, you're getting the feedback of 5 different people. You're covering all angles all the time, and everybody's sharing with each other. It is the fastest way. I'm telling you, it beats all this stuff. It is the fastest way to get to where you want to go. Okay? There are several different ways. There are entire books you can read on how to mastermind successfully. But if you at least focus on this and finding people in your network who are about the same level as you, who want to go to bigger levels, that's where you want to be. Okay? Masterminding with someone who's 10 levels ahead of you isn't going to work because you can't give mutual value. Okay? You can hire them as a mentor, but you need to find people who are about equal. Okay? That's the most important point I want to leave you with. Okay? Apprentice. So I laugh because I get approached often, usually younger people, late mid-20s, sometimes late 20s, of people who want to join my sales team or want me to coach them, but they can't afford to pay, but they want to give me something else of intrinsic value that they think I might need, and that's fair. I'll listen to any offer, but very few people I find are willing to actually apprentice, and it blows my mind. Because when I wanted to join my first sales organization, I basically went in and I said, I'll work for free. Like, whatever you want. I just want in. Don't pay me. I mean, there wasn't a salary anyway to be had. It was a sales organization. Whatever I made, I had to earn. So they weren't going to give me a salary regardless. But I went in with that mindset. I went in with that attitude about, I'm here to learn. I'm here to give. You owe me nothing. Give me a spot. Give me an opportunity and watch me perform. Which is what I did. And, I had a hard first year in sales, believe me, but my second year was better. My third year was better. My fourth year was better. And, 11 years later, we've had every single year has been better than the year before, without fail, without exception. So when you're going to apprentice, you don't want to just apprentice for someone who's making more money than you. You want to apprentice for people who have the right energy, who have the attitude, the energy that you want to absorb. You should look up to them as a mentor. They should be people you want to emulate. I'll give you the cheesy example. If you wanted to be a great hockey player, you might want to emulate a Wayne Gretzky, a Connor McDavid, something like that. Okay? So don't just go to someone because they score a lot of goals. You want to look behind the scenes and see their attitude. Maybe Mr. McDavid is a fantastic giver to charities and he helps young people and he's a family man. I don't even know the guy, to be honest with you, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. So let me get my notes. Okay, so biographies. Okay, so again, if you can't apprentice for every single person that you respect or that you want to emulate, you can at least read their biographies. Okay, you're gonna get a good chunk of what you want to know from at least reading their life story, and you have to pick the biographies carefully because sometimes they're jaded based on the author, based on the writer. So I don't want to get too much into detail about this, but for everyone, all the let's say wealthy people out there, there are stories about them. There are books, biographies, and if there isn't an official biography, book, published, their stories are on the internet everywhere. So I'd recommend looking at them from different angles, because again, based on the writer, you're going to have jaded views and jaded opinions. But the stories of how people came from nothing to something, those are my favorite ones because that's where I came from. Okay, and I learned from their misfortune, and I learned from their mistakes and them pushing through it. I get to cut my learning curve. Okay, so that's the fantastic part about it. That's the whole idea behind apprenticeship. Okay, it doesn't have to be just a wealthy person. I purposely write people you want to emulate. Okay, it doesn't all have to be about money and wealth. Abundance has more definitions than just dollars and cents. And I've learned that in the last few years too. It's about lifestyle. I want to live here, looking at my pool in my ravine on my big deck. This is what makes me happy, believe it or not. This is joy for me. It may not be for you, but this is joy for me. So if you want to have a deck and a pool and no neighbors in the back, come and talk to me. So you got to find the people who are living the kind of lifestyle you want to have, and those are the people to emulate, not just the guy with more zeros on his net worth. Okay? So meditations. So, and I want to get the wording correct here. Yes. Okay. That's supposed to be an at symbol. And I'm saying abundance at night. So, two different kinds of meditations I'm talking about here. So one, during the day, you should be meditating. What I do is I do it at my break time. So I usually work for a 60 to 90 minute period and then take a break. When I'm on my 5 a.m. schedule, I'm up at 5 and I work till about 6:30. I get up at 5, I'm starting work at about 5:30 and I work till about 7. Okay, then we have breakfast, get the kids to school, all that kind of jazz. And kind of a break, I eat my breakfast, have my coffee, whatever. 9 o'clock, I work till about 11:30. Okay, and then I have my lunch, take a break, check my phone, watch TV, put my feet up. And after lunch is when I get my, my doldrums, my take a break. I need a nap. I'm getting the afternoon kind of tiredness time. Okay, I don't know how to describe it to you, but that's my time where I need my rest the most. So instead of taking a nap, or like they do, my ancestors did in Italy, take a siesta and sleep for 2 hours, that's when I like to meditate. Okay, for me, it's as good as a 15-20 minute meditation is as good as a 30 to 60 minute nap, because it resets my brain. But it's a different type of meditation. What I'm trying to do during that time is meditate to literally shut off my left brain, shut off that thinking brain, and just go for nothing. Concentrate on my breath. And I'm just quieting my mind, slowing down my heart rate, slowing down my breathing, and I'm staying as close to asleep as possible without actually sleeping. And it's like a wakeful sleep, and it's extremely refreshing. And after 5 to 10 minutes of that, you're gonna have thoughts start to come in, and I let them come in. That's more intuition, and I'm not a meditation expert. I'm only sharing my own experience, but I'm just saying, after a certain amount of time that you shut your body down but stay awake, the thoughts that come in are different. It's not like, oh God, I gotta pick up my laundry, or the kids are bothering me, or what am I gonna make for dinner tomorrow, who am I gonna call for a party this weekend. It's you get those intuitive thoughts and feelings come in, and it's very powerful. So if you can do that daily, you're a better man than me, because although I love to do it, I know how to do it daily. I'm not at the daily habit yet. I'm getting there. Okay, but sorry for the preamble. At night, you can meditate also. Okay, if you didn't know, there are such things as guided meditations. So you can simply type it into Google or whatever search tool you're using now, and search for guided meditations to at least understand what they are in a lot more detail. But basically, there's a spoken word in the meditation. Someone is recording their voice on a meditation, and usually over frequency. So what they do is they record their voice over certain frequencies of sound, and those frequencies get your brain into a very meditative state, and a very what's the word? A state that's open to suggestion. And the meditation guides you based on the topic. And if you wanted to increase your abundance, there are meditations that are strictly for becoming more abundant. They may offer suggestions to you, like, focus on the positive things, and let go of this, or they give you lots and lots of self-motivating phrases and different suggestions, so that when you're actually asleep, your subconscious mind, not your conscious, but your subconscious mind, is absorbing these ideas, absorbing this programming, and when you wake up, you're going to tend to drift and urge yourself toward things that are closer to abundance. And if you do it over a period of time, a period of weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, they say the longer you do, the better. It makes a tremendous difference. And that's from my personal experience. And if you'd like some recommendations on some specific guided meditations, happy to provide them. I may even put some in the chat, may not, or in the comments. But worst case, you can shoot me an email and I'll get back to you. Okay? Negativity. Catch my note. Okay. And toxicity. Sorry, guys. So negativity and toxicity avoidance. So what does that mean exactly? That's kind of broad, but not enough room here to write a whole a monster sentence. I'm gonna come out and say it. Energy is everything. You know, I'm not a spiritual healer, but I've been closer in touch with the energy around things and the energy around people lately. In the last, 3 years ago, as I've learned about this subject more and more, and sometimes, no matter how much you try, you're not going to jive with some people's energy, and activities that you used to love and used to provide good energy for you may not anymore. It's almost like they expire. I used to love hanging out with my friends and having drinks. Like, to go out on a weekend, Friday night, or even be at a friend's house and have 3 or 4 beers, or do a couple shots and have a couple drinks was my idea of a great time. And lately, man, I'm lucky if I can have 1, maybe 2 beers, or none at all. Sometimes I feel better, and it's amazing how that is. I'm my mind, my body, my soul is just not in that energy anymore. And just because it worked for me in the past doesn't mean it's going to continue working for me in the future. So I've had to what's the word? I've had to give in to that energy and say, okay, if it's not working anymore, I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna try and make it work just so I can hang out with this person. And sometimes you have to see less of people because of that. And it's not just about drinking. Honestly, it's different activities. Any activity you can think of that is not giving you joy, is not giving you positive energy, you gotta let it go. And because it's gonna suck the life out of you, and you won't be able to do everything else. Okay, you won't be able to do everything else. So it's a big one. It really is. I'd say this is number 2 on the list, to be honest with you. And you have to constantly monitor this. So this isn't the time or place for me to give you guidance here. I can only share some of the things that works with me. So when I'm trying something new, I'm constantly measuring, how I feel about it. And I'm not a touchy-feely kind of guy, if you know me personally. But I'm really purposely giving the feeling. And if I'm not having a good time, I'll try again. And if it happens again, like what did I try? Snowboarding. Perfect example. This sounds so ridiculous, you guys are going to laugh at me. But I tried to learn snowboarding. I hate it. Honestly, I hate it. A lot of my friends love it. But I couldn't get the hang of it. And I was frustrated. And I tried again, and I just didn't enjoy it. I had to be honest with myself. I'm like, I like the winter activities sometimes, some hockey, a little bit of thing, but to be up there, go on the lift, go up on the mountain, I'm like, no, I'd rather be on the beach. You know what I mean? And it might change. In 5 years from now, maybe that's different as I mature in my lifetime. So, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm giving into those more and more so I can focus on more of the things that bring me good energy. Okay? More of the things that bring me good energy. And more of the people that bring me good energy. Charity. Okay? Charity that's close to your heart. Not all charities are created equal. There, I said it. Okay? Not all charities give all the money you think to the actual charity. Some of them absorb a lot of the money into employees and just stuff. And the money, not enough of the money is going where it needs to go. I suggest any charities that you give to, you should really ask the question and make sure they're forthcoming about how they divide their money and where it goes. Of course, you need to pay for some things. It's part of any charity, but most of the money should go to the point of the charity. Okay, let's just leave it at that. So, and I'm suggesting that you give money or get involved in charities that are close to your heart. We're involved with a charity called $1 Million Smiles. It's a charity for children here in Ontario, and they build like backyard park structures, slide, swing, jungle gym, that kind of thing, in a kid's backyard. And this child cannot go to the neighborhood park because of some physical or mental handicap, or a combination of both. So, I mean, we pay for the park set. It's a pretty big set, and a team of us go in, usually my team, my sales team, and whoever else we can get to volunteer. We go and we spend an entire day, afternoon in the summer building the set for the child in their own backyard. And then, the parents and family will bring the child in at the end, and for a little like surprise reveal. And we have a little celebration. We have some cake, and we may try and make it a big day for them. And for me, it's a fantastic charity because I get to give some money, and I know it's going to a fantastic place, and we get to get our hands involved. And I feel like my money is my donation is going to a right place, and we have a little bit of control of what's going on. So for that reason, that's why I like this charity. And we can see the results like firsthand. Like we build a park, the child comes home, and they're usually overjoyed, of course. And more than making the child happy, the family gets to enjoy it, because the families sometimes are the forgotten burden, because the child may be sick in the hospital, have some kind of handicap that they have to deal with, and a lot of times it's they're more overjoyed than the child. So if you want to get involved in the $1 Million Smiles charity, shoot us an email. We're happy to point you in the direction. And we do an event every year, usually in August, with that. So that charity is close to my heart, and I'd suggest you find one that's close to yours, and even if it's $100 a year, something, just it comes back to you tenfold, especially if it's something that's going to make you happy. Okay, and never feel obliged. Every time someone tries to make me feel bad and asks me to donate, it's the worst energy. Like I'm sorry if that offends you, but if you have to force someone to donate, if you have to coach them or sell them on it, to me that's some in-between energy. So I be careful. Choose somebody that's close to your heart. You can't go wrong there. Okay. And the last one. Hire a mentor, hire a coach, please. It's a fantastic investment. It's an investment in yourself, okay? But make sure it's somebody who's achieved what you want to achieve. Someone who's been around the block that you're trying to go around. Someone who's overcome the obstacles that you're trying to overcome. Whether they're physical or emotional or spiritual or whatever it is, okay? That's important. You can't just hire any coach that's got piles of money, because they may not have gotten there the way you want to get there. Okay, and they may not be living the kind of lifestyle you want to live. So it's almost like you're interviewing them for a job. Okay, you got to find out how they do things, what their motivations are, because it's going to reflect on you. Because this person who's coaching you becomes part of your mastermind. Indirectly, you're spending time with them, you're absorbing their advice, you're absorbing their wisdom. You have to be careful who you connect with and who you hire as a coach. Okay? And this is probably the number one investment you can make, especially if you're someone who's already achieved great results in, say, real estate or some other investment or another business, and you're looking to level up, this is where you need to go. Okay? Find someone who's 1 or 2 or 3 levels ahead of you, who still remembers what it's like to be in your spot, who can pull you up. Okay? That's my job. So regularly, and I mean daily, I have people reaching out to me who, want to become successful in investing in real estate, or just looking to buy their first property, or whatever it is. My specialty is real estate and business building, and we get this all the time. And I make it a point to still be in that realm. I still remember what it's like to be that person looking up saying, how in God's name did you get all those properties? And now I can answer that question for someone. So I want to help as many people as possible, because the more people you help, the bigger your business grows. Very simple. So it can be a win-win situation. It doesn't have to be all winning for you. So, and if you have a good coach, they'll teach you that. And I certainly don't know everything. I've been around the block a few times. We've had some good success, and I'm doing my best to teach to others. But remember, I still have my own coaches. And my coaches have their own coaches. And sometimes multiple coaches. So don't think that the coaching thing ever ends. It's a constant investment in yourself. One that keeps on paying. It's some of the best you can do. Okay? And if you have a good coach, they'll teach you how to measure that. If you spend X amount of $10,000 on coaching, you should get $50,000 to $100,000 back. And there are ways you can measure and get that. Every time I've done it, except for one, I made a mistake, hired the wrong coach. But every other time has been a fantastic investment. I've learned tremendously, and I've learned faster. Rather than making mistakes and learning myself, what took me 12 months to learn, I could do in 3 to 6 months with a coach. So you got to ask yourself how much your time is worth. Okay? So this is the last video on abundance you're ever going to need. If you're still confused about it, start here and branch out. Okay? These are all the points you need to hit, and even if you get 3 of these right, it's going to make a huge difference to you. All the difference in the world. And I'm happy to help. Shoot me an email. We'll be in touch.